Sometimes when you are working on a project, you will have the need to duplicate the information from one view into a new view. An example would be two floor plans at the same level. To create this duplicate, move your cursor over to the project browser, expand out floor plans, then select on Level 1. Right-click on Level 1, highlight Duplicate View, then select Duplicate with Detailing. Duplicate with Detailing creates an exact copy of that view, much like if you had a piece of paper and you put it through a copy machine. So select on Duplicate with Detailing, and now we can see we have a new duplicate view underneath the project browser, and it's called Level 1 Copy 1. We can rename this view by right-clicking on it, coming down to Rename, then call it Duplicate with Detailing. Then click on OK. If we look at Level 1, by just double-clicking on Level 1, we can see that this is the same view as the Duplicate with Detailing view, with the same information inside of it. What occurs now is if a piece of information should change in Duplicate with Detailing, then that information will not change in Level 1, assuming that that information is a piece of text or some kind of annotation. If we zoom in the Duplicate with Detailing view, so that we can see the number 7 in the doorway, and we zoomed in by just spinning the wheel on the mouse, we could then select on the number 7, which is a piece of annotation. And if you click and hold your mouse button down on it, you can then move the mouse to the side to move the number 7 over. This annotation symbol is now only moved inside of the Duplicate with Detailing view. If we look at Level 1, then zoom in by spinning the wheel on our mouse, we can see that the number 7 is still in the same location. But any three-dimensional object that gets changed will update in both views. If we zoom out by spinning the wheel on the mouse, then zoom in on this wall between the two bathrooms, we can then select on this wall, then click this arrow right here, and those double arrows have now moved that bathroom wall over to the other side. It's flipped the bathroom wall's face from being on the right-hand side to the left-hand side of the wall. If we look at the Duplicate with Detailing view, we can see that that change has also occurred with this wall inside of this view because a wall is a three-dimensional object. There are two other kinds of duplicating that we can do. Move your cursor over and once again select on Level 1, right-click, and this time move your cursor down, highlight over Duplicate View, but now select on Duplicate. You will notice that all the annotation is now gone. There are certain things such as these elevation tags, as well as the column grids, which stay around. All the dimensions, any pieces of text, all of the tags for the doors and windows have now went away because when you just duplicate a view, it makes a duplicate of all the three-dimensional information. If we change any of the three-dimensional information, it will update in all the views. But by doing a duplicate, it gets rid of the text, dimensions, those sorts of things, so that we can now create such things as furniture plans or interior finish plans. The third kind of duplicating that we can do is if we once again move our cursor up to Level 1, right-click on Level 1, move down to Duplicate View, then Duplicate as a Dependent. We can see that it has now created a new view directly underneath Level 1. Let's do this one more time. So once again, right-click on Level 1, Duplicate View, and Duplicate as a Dependent. What dependent views allow you to do is make a change inside of the main view, and then that change will show up in both of the views that have been duplicated. Or vice versa is true. If you make a change in one of the dependent views, then that change will show up inside of the other view. This is sometimes needed if you have a view that's too long for a sheet and you need to make that view shorter so that that view can then show on one sheet and then another view can show on another sheet. An example of this would be if we right-click on either one of these dependent views, go down the Rename, then call this Left, click on OK, rename the other one by right-clicking on its title, going to Rename, typing in Right, we now have a left-hand view and a right-hand view. If we zoom out with this view, making sure that left is currently selected, we can now select on this box that goes around the view. This is called the crop region. Then click on this dot and pull it in. Now we just have the building on the left-hand side. If we click on this dot here, we can further crop it in. If we double click on right, we can see that we have the view that has all the information in it. Once again, select on that box, grab onto that dot, pull it over. You can pull it over again. Now we have the other building over on the right-hand side, and that could be on the right-hand sheet. And finally, while we're here, go to the Level 1 Copy One, select on that. This is the view that we called duplicate, or that we actually just made a duplicate of. We want to call it duplicate. So let's right-click on that view name, move down the Rename, and now name this view Duplicate, and select on OK.